It looks like one of our male Dama gazelles has grown up as well. And I think they're injured. Yeah, look at the little thing here. Bless them. So we need to get the vet to take them to quarantine. I'm going to call them now. Because they've been fighting with their dad. Obi has been fighting with... What was his name? Was it like Kevin or something? I can't remember what we called him now. The male. It was Kevin. It was Kevin. Kevin's been standing his ground and he's injured his son. So that's not good. We need the vet to come get Obi. And hopefully we can release Obi into the wild. Potentially with some of his brothers and sisters, we can see. Oh no. Don't fight again. Okay, good. They're taking them out. So if they take them to quarantine, they'll bring them all the way over here. They'll put them in quarantine and then are in this black void in here. They can sit in here for a second. And then the vet will take them out and move them to a vet surgery. And I believe... Is this one a vet surgery here? Yeah, it's right opposite. Covered in grass. Let's get rid of the long grass in the buildings because that's a little bit silly. Let's just make sure none of these buildings have long grass. And then, yeah, there we go. That looks so much better. So they're going to put them into the void and then we will take them along and bring them into surgery and make sure they're okay. And, you know, a Cluff Rubu and a Rapper Rubu. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah, exactly. Hopefully that's resolved their issues though. And when they're done with their... Oh no. What's wrong with you guys? Are you hungry? Oh, it's not you. It's you guys. Why have you attracted protesters? You all seem fine. I think they're okay. I think it's all good. And we've got a challenge. We've bred 2 exhibit animals of different species. We've done 4. So we smashed that. Okay. These guys, I believe, have animals in each one. We're waiting for them to breed up, but they all can breed up to the right numbers now. Oh, except we need a male in here. Well, in that case, I think let's just grab one of these males and just move them into this one. And then we can spread them out, and they should all be managed populations. So when they get to 2 males and 2 females, they will kick the other ones out, which is what we want. I just want to double check that they're definitely all on that. Management 2 males. Okay, we want 2 females here. And management 2 males, 2 females here. Have you got any females in here? Yes. Okay. So when they breed, they'll when there's a baby female in here, they'll stay and everyone else will go. But they seem to be getting on well. A serious injury discovered. Oh, it's our vet. It's our gazelle. No, let's go check it out. Our vet's getting them now from quarantine. Oh, the poor thing. They really got hurt by Kevin. Kevin. We need to talk about Kevin, I think. No, and there they are. Being treated for their serious injury. That's not good. At least it's a nice vet surgery with like a beautiful view. That's that's the only good we can come out of this. But they should get them right as rain again. And then they'll try and put them back in the habitat. But I think at that point we take them out and we release them into the wild. Once they're healed up. Okay, I think that's it. I think they're good. They're going to run them back in. When they get in there, we'll just send them straight back to the trade center. Here they are now. There we go. Right, let's grab you before you have a fight and send you to the trade center. Do we have any other siblings that we want to get rid of that have grown up now? Let's have a look. Oh, there's another one. Oh my goodness, no. Are you injured as well? Right, let's send you to the... I think they're not. They've just grown up as well. Lots of males. Are there any more males? Right, Dama Gazelle. Just Kevin, that's all we want. Yeah, outsider, outside, and then babies here. So I think this is a young adult, yeah. So they are amazing, but they're related to Kevin. What are their group sizes? Let's find them in the Zoopedia. So if we click here, we get their information. They live in groups of 1 to 19, so 19 females. Seen as we're an ethical zoo, I guess this is the call. Do we breed the best ones and then release them? What group size are they living in now? I guess that's the main question. There's 8 females and 1 male that should be, but then there's some babies. Oh, it's counting them as well, isn't it? So without them, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 females. I think maybe we just get some more females. We rescue some more. And then the babies we release. When they grow up, we'll just release all the babies until Kevin passes away. Because Kevin's still quite young, isn't he? Where's his information? Physical stats? No, lifetime. He's had 6 fights. Kevin! Oh, it's overview here. He's 4.7. He's super young still, because they live to be how old? They live to be 15. Okay, yeah. In that case, let's put the other young female into the trade center. Where is she? Here. And then we can release them all together, and they can go their separate ways if they want to. We wouldn't want to release them together, actually, because then she'd be with her brothers, which isn't ideal. The 2 brothers we can release on their own, because they can have a little herd together. Maybe for now, then, thematically, let's actually put that female back in here. We'll send her to this habitat, but we will put her on contraceptives. And then these 2, the 2 males, we'll release them both together into the wild. Get a few credits back. And here she is, coming back in. We won't rename her because we are going to release her as well. She's just not going to be released yet. Let's put you on contraceptives. And then you guys can all live happily together. That needs to be sorted out as well. I'm going to call a keeper. Oh, they're already here. Okay. No. Yes. Okay, the keeper's coming in. They can take away that because we don't want that. Stinky hay that's gone off. We've got a talk going on here. That's good. You handling them? I don't think you can handle the axolotls, can you? that doesn't sound like something you should be able to do anyway. And our Gila monsters, which I was pronouncing so wrong before, but the Gila monsters are here and they're looking good. They're both in this habitat in the middle here. And they seem pretty happy. Actually, if we unlocked more enrichment for these guys, because our vet was still researching, weren't they? Oh, they're halfway. Okay. They've almost got more. I suppose they had to deal with the Dama Gazelle, didn't they? So they've got distracted from their research. Here they are. Let's move them all the way over. Where are you headed? Over here. And you can finish your research. And then we can get some more layouts going for them as well. I do like getting the layouts. I feel like it's important now. And to be honest, we have the money. Maybe we hire another vet and get some more research going at the same time. I'm going to hire another vet. And they can share the same research huts. Or we could put another one in somewhere. Is there space anywhere? Not really over here. Maybe we do that when we build our next set of buildings. For now, they can share one research hut. That's not the end of the world. As long as they're not doing stuff at exactly the same time, we're fine. And they are walking in unison. Oh my goodness. I wish they could look slightly more different. Of all the randomized characters we could get, they've almost got exactly the same hair and everything. Like hairstyle. It's ridiculous. Okay. This one is our experienced one. This one is our new one. Okay, cool. Well, they can check up on all the animals, the new one, while the experienced one does the research. That seems fine. Let's find food. Everyone's on grade 3. That's what we like. And staff, I think we'll just train up literally everyone that can be trained up. Says that our educators still have really high workloads. So I am wondering whether we get another one. You're on Black Rhino Shops. I feel like that's wrong. You're supposed to be on the entrance zone. There is no Black Rhino Shop education. That's why they've got a great workload. They're literally just standing around in here teaching everyone as they walk past, which isn't the worst thing actually, to have someone just floating around. But yeah, no, I think do that in your break time. Just, you know, well, if you haven't got a talk scheduled, go then. Oh my goodness, what's happened here? What are people doing? Why would you break a bench? And how did you break a bench like that? That's almost impressive. Well, hopefully we've done another level of research now for our little Gila monsters. We have indeed. When do we unlock more stuff for them? So we've got education boost, and then next time we get exhibit enrichment. So I will leave them doing that. I think now they're here, let's assign the other vet to do some research. And we can get that going as well, because we've got the tarantulas. So Mathias, Aponte, something like that. You can work on the Mexican red knee tarantula. Everyone else, I mean, we've smashed out the research, haven't we? That sounds good. Because they've got to walk here and everything. It's going to take them time. By the time they're here, hopefully the one that was just here is in the research hut actually doing the research. So, oh no. Diseased animal. Okay, let's quarantine you. MRSA. Right, in that case, let's move you off of the tarantulas and onto the active disease so we can hopefully get ahead of this. In fact, where are you? Let's see if we can grab our vet. Who else is diseased? Okay, quarantine. Just gonna quarantine anyone that's sick. Oh, he's here. Okay. If anyone's sick, you want to quarantine them to get this disease out of the way ASAP. Are you running to the entrance over here? Yeah, let's put you here. Go quickly. Annoyingly, you can't move them inside the habitats. They have to do it themselves. Who's coming to collect the other one? I don't know. I think we're okay. I think we have controlled it. But if they need treating, they can go from quarantine to the vet as they've just done. Unfortunately, there's a problem there then. So where is our habitat? Is it cleanliness? Do we need more keepers over here? Or is the water broken? That's another alternative. How's our water system doing? Okay, the temperature regulator is broken. Let's request a mechanic for that. But I think this is actually okay. The water treatment seems fine. Okay. So it must be that there was too much poop everywhere. They hadn't cleaned up. So I wonder whether we get another keeper. We've only got one on the Africa zone. So let's hire another keeper and put them on the Africa zone as well. Then we should have enough hands everywhere. I feel, you know, we're hiring a lot more staff. I think it's good. We could get more for the educators as well. How are you guys? Entrance zone seems, and the Africa zone seems like they could do with another vendor. But then you've got low workload, so probably okay. It's probably okay with the vendors. And that's just money that we're talking about with them. So it's not animal welfare, so it's not the end of the world. Okay, well now we've got our Africa zone over here kind of settled again. I think let's look to expand into the Asia section. I want to have a little Asia square over here and do the same thing as the Africa zone, where we have a little Asia zone here. We can just do pockets of different regions. I think that'd be nice. So let's continue our path this way. We need 7 meters. And it would be nice maybe to have a habitat that starts here and goes into this space here. So we could move forward a bit and then leave some space for another small habitat there maybe. And then go down this way. And then just slightly wiggle this tree. I think that works. Now, the animal I want to get in here is the Bornean Elephant, and they are endangered. So let's get an elephant in here. They are awesome animals, and we don't have anything like this yet. So this is going to be huge for our zoo. These guys live in groups of 3 to 30. So 1 male and up to 29 females. That is amazing. So apparently they live in small interrelated groups with an average of 8. So they can live up to 30, but the average is 8 individuals. So that's okay, with several generations of female elephants. So I think probably we should release the males, because it says young males will form small bachelor groups, of which mature males will eventually split off to live solitarily. In that case, yeah, let's maybe... We can see whether we want to release females. Let's see how many we can breed first. But if we can get a decent group going, that would be great. Of like a family group. The only problem is they're not going to be related, are they? Because if we get these from Frontier Zoo, none of them are related. They're quite small as well. That one's not got great longevity. But we could have them in the group. And then in the future, it'll be more of a family group. That might be better. Oh. What is wrong with these guys? Why do these guys keep having an issue? Cleanliness. It is all connected. Oh, maybe it wasn't connected. The pathing in here, I think, maybe didn't connect it up. Well, we'll see if that connects them now. And we can call the request the keeper urgently. Because that could have been the issue. Seeing as it's female groups of minimum 3, I think let's just get some females in here because we need to start somewhere, don't we? And they are expensive credit-wise. So, although this has low longevity, I do feel like it's maybe worth getting that one. How old are you? 20. How long do they live? It's a tough call. They live to 63. I kind of want to save them anyway, though, because if we imagine, you know, we're either getting them from a zoo. I guess we're getting them from Frontier Zoo. But let's start somewhere with them. I think let's get all of these females. They're also polygynous, so I think all of them will breed, which is good. It's not just the alpha females that will breed. And now you've attracted... Oh, okay, no, it must just be our keepers aren't doing a great job of managing you guys. So let's see. Don't we have 2 keepers on this area? Oh, we only have 1 keeper. Okay, fine. Let's hire another keeper to get to work on the endangered exhibits. And just double check that that work zone is doing everything we think it is. Yeah, it's all of this. Okay, cool. And where is the keeper hut? Is that included these? Yeah, it has. Cool. That should be good for them. We could also think about getting another mechanic because I think we only have 1. And there's actually quite a lot of stuff now for them to do. It says they've got an efficient workload though, so I'm going to leave them. If they think they're doing okay, we'll leave them. And everyone can be trained up. Train yourselves up as much as you can. Yeah, because you guys, yeah, you're fine now. But you needed a keeper as well, so it's good that we're doing this. They just needed a little bit more care and attention, which is what we're supposed to be doing in this zoo. Oh, it looks like there's some more females as well, some more cows. I don't want to get anyone with 0% anything, unfortunately. This female is amazing. So let's get them, definitely. And then, how many more credits have we got? We're going to need some for a bull. I think maybe let's get 1 more. This one is probably a good one to get. All from Frontier. And then we've got, was that 5 females? So we have 5 cows and we want 1 bull. Let's lay out the area. How much do they need? So let's say we do have a bigger group. I don't think we're going to have that many. If we manage to get hold of 10 adults, so it said 8, didn't it? Let's say 8 then. That's an average. Or maybe we'll build it with 10 in mind. And they all have a baby. Well, we'll throw in 10 babies. Let's say that's, so 4,000 land requirement and 550 water. That's the minimum we want to be doing, let's say. Okay, cool. We can do that. And it just needs to be taller than 2 meters, which is actually less than I thought. I thought they'd want a higher fence than that, but they probably like looking at the humans. So that's not the end of the world. We can just put in a fence for them and they're quite happy. In fact, some of this might be able to work. I don't know how tall this one was. I think it might have only been 1 meter. So we can test that out by grabbing a wall piece. Yeah, it's 1 meter. 2 meter is that high. So it's taller than that. But that's not the end of the world. Our design here would be absolutely perfect for these guys. If only they could see through. That was the problem we had before. If only they can see through it. Seeing as they're from Borneo, so Indonesia and Malaysia, I think probably the best shout is to use the Indonesian pieces we already have. We've got a load of Indonesian construction pieces. So if you're theme Indonesian, I think they're probably the best ones. And then if we filter by material, let's go for organic, wood, and that's probably it. Maybe glass. We can go with them because we're going to want some glass they can see through. But if we can avoid it, that would be even better. But we want to try and use these pieces to make the habitats if we can. To keep it on theme and to make them as sustainable as possible because we want all of our habitats to be eco-friendly where possible. So seeing as these guys need 4,000 square meters of land area for a herd size of 10 with 10 babies, I think let's give them 8,000 square meters of land area and then we're completely covered if the herd size gets a little bit bigger and they've got that extra space just to move around and feel like it's a more ethical habitat than it would be at their minimum requirements. And then they also want 550 square meters of water. So let's give them 1,100, just double it again. So they've got that extra bit of space to play around. So in total, we're looking at a 9,100 meter square habitat. Let's lay out the boundary for that and see how big that looks. And to do that, we want to be using the barrier pieces here and selecting the null barriers. So seeing as they have a 2-meter requirement on the fencing, I'm going to put the habitat gate over here near our staff buildings, because we've got our keeper huts just in there. And then that will align it nicely with the path, and I can turn on angle snap and then build in some null barriers to map out this territory. I'm also using the 12-meter long barriers because it's a multiple of 4, which means that hopefully we can map on the 4-meter construction pieces quite easily, and it should align nicely with the habitat that we're making. Okay, let's see how big this one is. So this is 6,000. That is not big enough at all. Let's keep expanding it out. I think we may even move some of this here and make it slightly larger. I don't want to eat into our wetlands. I want to make sure the habitat is big on its own. You know, it needs to have its own defined space. We don't want to eat into the area we set aside for the environment. Okay, that is bigger than we need. I think let's just take it down 1 notch here. There we go, 9,200. That's kind of perfect. That's what we're after. I might extend it slightly because we are going to add in some trees, and I don't want to have that, you know, take away from what they're allowed. So I think maybe we'll just take it up 1 here and give them a little bit of extra space. Maybe another 8 meters this way. I think that should be good because, you know, you've got the tree trunk space and I want to make sure they actually have what we're giving them. And then I'm just going to very slightly move these bushes. I don't want to eat into the wetlands area, but I think it was quite undefined. So let's push these back slightly. And then that is quite a nice area set out for them here. That seems good to me. And it is 9,776 meters squared. Perfect. In fact, this tree can also move in a little bit to make sure it's not overhanging the habitat if possible. We can try and work on that to see if we can get it to work from here. And now we can use the pieces we were talking about and set about making like a little fence or something that needs to be 2 meters tall. So in our construction pieces, we don't have anything that... Oh, this is 2 meters. So it needs to be this high, effectively. If we turn off random rotation as well, it'll be much easier to build a fence. And also if we put on angle snap, now we should just be able to move this panel up. And that is a 2 meter high fence right there. So we can create something we want, but it needs to be this tall. And I'm going to try and use just these wooden log pieces because I think they're fairly nondescript. We're going to use these as well as the Indonesian pieces just so we can get something that maps on a 4 meter grid because none of the the Indonesian pieces have 4 meters on them at all. So unless we use East Asia or something, which isn't, even those don't. Yeah, I think there's not much for the Asian side that map onto the 4 meter walls, at least not that are sustainable materials. I wanted to create like an Indonesian fence that had a big open section in the middle because obviously the elephants aren't going to fit through an open section, and that way we don't need glass because I really think that the elephants are going to enjoy seeing the guests as much as they're going to enjoy seeing them. So I've managed to do this with the wooden Indonesian pieces and decorate it up. They've got some really beautiful pieces in there that are very ornate and I think work nicely together. And then when I finished the fence, I just added a 1 meter log piece to it, which I'm going to delete later. And that let me use the whole fence piece as a 4 meter placeable object that would snap to the grid. So it was much easier to place out all of the fence pieces along the barriers that we've just made. Okay, that is a lot of progress, and we've got kind of a pretty decent fence going, I think. Like, I guess we're going to see when the elephants actually go in here, but hopefully it means that we don't really need much in the way of glass or anything, because they shouldn't be able to fit through the gaps, and it should be tall enough for them that they can't break out. So, in fact, I think I've made it 4 meters tall, looking at it now, which is not what I meant to do, but it's not the end of the world either. It seems a bit more sturdy that way. So let's see how we go. We do need to fix up a few corners. They don't all look the worst, actually. Like, these are fine. It's more if we have gaps anywhere, like here. But to be honest, again, they're not gonna, you know, be able to fit through the gaps. As long as they're, you know, fully, like, concreted in the ground, I think it's fine. Or however they're fitting these fence posts, I think it's actually okay. Doesn't look the worst, so I might leave the corners as they are. We're gonna have to see how they do the terrain, because this is a bit shorter here, but again, only needing 2 meters high means I think that might be fine. I don't think they'll be able to get out either way, so let's see how we get on. We've got some facilities without power. Why is that? Is that because one of our solar panels needs fixing? Yeah, let's request the mechanic to fix that, and then hopefully they can get back up and running again. But for now, let's get our Bornean elephant into this habitat. I think it's ready for them, which is crazy. We do need to fix up the door slightly because we don't want to work like this. So let's do that. Okay, I think that's reasonable on the door. And look, we've got our first elephant in here. Oh my goodness. Taman? I think it's Taman. Oh, they can enjoy the space. Have you got enough room? You do. You don't have any water, which you're not happy about, but you have enough space generally. You're gonna need more hard shelter and more water, but don't worry, that's absolutely fine. The main thing is, can you guys break out? No, you can't. Awesome. So these guys can't break out and guests will be able to see in. So let's pause the game before they get unhappy, and then we can make a nice water area for them. I'm trying to think where we want it to be. Water area, probably around here. So perhaps even in this area, we could build a little pond that stretches out into here. That might be nice. Let's do that. And in fact, let's use our cube stamp tool, because then we can make the height 4 meters. And the width we can make maybe 15 meter width. And then we know we need 500 meters. I think I'm going to make it slightly shallower than 4 meters deep just to start with, so they can paddle in it. That's probably good for them to paddle. Let's hit X, and then we can click, and then it stays stamped. So, in fact, we might want it slightly deeper than that, I think. Let's push it down slightly. That's probably good, though. Have a few of these. And that's 15 by 15, so I think 3 of those is 450. We can probably, if we're going for more than that, we can probably expand it out now up here and have the area just come out of here. And in fact, I might turn that off and just smooth this out along here so it seems quite a bit more natural, and then continue it into this section here. That is 1,070 square meters of water, which I think is about right. We're going for 100, weren't we? So that seems pretty good to me. We need to add it into a work zone. For now, I'm just going to add it into the Africa work zone because we don't have anyone else here to look after it. So let's throw it into that one, and then the keepers can at least look after it. And these guys are very happy. They've got 935 that they can navigate. So we could maybe make it a bit more. I don't know if it's because this area is too deep for them. And if that's the case, yeah, maybe that's the case. Let's get rid of the water and just bring this up a little bit down here. Because we don't want it to be too deep for these guys. That seems good. And then hard shelter. I'd like to work in hard shelter with some paths as well. So my plan here is to kind of create a bit of a viewing area up here. So if we have a ramp that goes to there, that seems good to me. And that will also lead us onto the rest of the zoo, which is on a slight elevation. Then we should be able to branch out over here a little bit. So I believe they'll be able to navigate under here, and that should be fine for them. And we've at least got a bit more hard shelter now for them too. So hard shelter is actually completely fulfilled by this because they can walk most of the way under. We could take off the struts, and I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to take off the path supports and add in our own because I don't think that's ideal here. I think that's much better, and now they should be able to traverse a lot more of the area. Yeah, there we go. They can go all the way underneath. And we can even make this a little bedding area for them. We could corner it off even and make it a bit of a bedding area, but it gives our guests a way better view into the habitat as well. So they've got a lot more area to look at them from here, and you can see that you can already see them through the fences that we do have. We've got an ATM broken down. Let's request a mechanic for that. And then let's also go about building them some shelter. So these guys for shelter, I don't know, do we just create more of these? I do quite like them. The only problem is I don't want them to all be under guests. That's the thing, because the guests might be noisy, and I suppose the guests aren't going to be here though at the times when they're here. Maybe we leave this as like their main shelter. We could even extend it to be bigger. I think I might do this. Let's extend this out, and this will double as their shelter. But remember that the guests aren't going to be here most of the time. So for these guys, it's probably not that bad to have them here. They're not going to mind at all. Oh, I should have brought this one forward as well. Let's have this in the center. There we go. That seems good. This is going to be quite a large shelter for them, but the guests aren't going to be here when they're sleeping because they're not nocturnal or anything. They're going to sleep at night when the guests aren't in the zoo. So this can actually just function as their shelter, and they're probably quite happy with that. And at which point we can put in some bedding for them, which we'll definitely do. Let's filter by species, and it is the Bornean Elephant. Let's get some extra large bedding in for them with some random rotation turned on. Okay, it started to rain, but they've got their shelter. What else do these guys want? They want less long grass and more soil, but that can easily be achieved. Let's paint that in now. There we go. That seems pretty good for them. Just got like a bit of a soil path on the routes. They'd probably take a bit more, like through the habitat. And they need enrichment. What do we want to put in for them? I can't believe it's such a miserable day. This is such a great day. The elephants are here and the weather is horrible. We still don't have any males, so we're holding out for a male, but we should probably put our ticket prices up. I'm going to say this should be 28 now and 14, maybe even 30. Let's say 30 and 15. Because this is definitely a hugely appealing species for our zoo. We're a 4-star zoo now, so you know we've got to get up there. For enrichment, the things that the Bornean elephants like, they're like the beaver pool. That's interesting. I think let's get some of these water things in that they will use because they're a lot of fun, aren't they? The water frames. And then they can have a little water pool over here. They've got the massive one, so it seems a bit silly. Let's get a tree scatter feeder. And then a sprinkler. And a mud bath. Yeah, the mud bath can go over here. Along with another feeder. We'll get a fixed roller feeder over there. And maybe a third feeder. Yeah, let's have a gyro feeder down here. Now, as far as enrichment, we can give them a skittle and maybe something for the water. I don't think they have any. Oh, a large ball. That can be used with the water. We'll throw that in the pool and they can use that for games. That seems like quite a lot for them because we can swap it out at different points. They're super happy that they want a bit more food enrichment. Ah, okay, fine. I think maybe we just duplicate some of these. Have another fixed roller feeder over here. That they can use. That seems good. Maybe we should actually spin that round the other way. Because I think they access it from the other side. So we want them to access it from the habitat side. Is that sufficient? Yeah, that is everything that they want. And then we are going to need just a food tray. Let's get a large food trough in. Maybe in here. Just in case there's any extra food that can go in there. And maybe another one over here. Just in case they overdo it. And look, they're playing with a skittle already. Oh, they're very cute elephants, I have to say. They've got a funny little walk. Look at their walk. The one walking away is hilarious. Oh, I love them. Let's get some education for our guests as well. We're going to put some habitat education boards. If we turn off random rotation, some habitat education boards up on these over here. And then we can set these to be teaching them about the Bornean elephant. Maybe we have them like every few, because it's quite a large habitat. We're going to lack power for a lot of this, so I might just put a solar panel in this area that's like going to be added properly later, but for now it can just service this area. We know that it's going to do this area. And then let's have some entertainment over here. And we can do the rest of the habitat. If we need more entertainment, more education, we can do that. I think that works out quite well. They're also going to want some speakers. So let's put some educational speakers in. This is a great spot for one there. Can have it on maximum range. Oh no, it's going to clash. What's it clashing with? Oh, it's clashing with the rhino. Oh, okay, no, let's move that then. We can have one maybe over here. And that can be on maximum range. Yeah, that seems good. And then for the rest of our education, where's our power? Okay, we're going to need another thing, another solar panel, because I'd like to have some up here. So maybe we put a solar panel on there, on this area here. I think that might be a good idea, actually. I actually kind of think that that works. We've got a little solar panel on here now, so there's power all along here. It looks like we've got... Oh no, you've attracted protesters. You got stressed. Why? Let's move you there. I don't know if you got trapped. Maybe they got trapped in the reeds or something. You're also stressed. Why? Move you there as well. I don't know if that was a bit of a glitch or not. Whoa, there's loads of guests here, but they're quite confident around guests, so I don't think it's that. Look how many guests we have here. That is amazing. We've got so many people. We might need another entrance soon because they are getting clogged up around here and they're not pushing themselves out over here. So it would be good to have another entrance maybe over this side somewhere. But we'll carry on for now. Oh no, we got a spot fine for protesters. Oh, it's especially annoying when I don't think that was even our fault. Like, I don't think we did anything wrong there, but doesn't matter. We will be okay. Let's put some habitat education boards in up here. And we'll teach our guests about the Bornean elephant. And we're going to need some donation bins and some normal bins. We don't want litter around here, so I'm going to put some conservation bins along this way. And then also some donation bins to make sure our guests can give us some money to help look after these guys. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And all that's left, I believe, is for this habitat to have the right plants for them. So let's move this sycamore that's slightly creeping into that habitat. So these are the plants that these guys like. They're like plants from Asia that are aquatic, grassland, and tropical. And that list of plants is here. So these plants, the elephants would like in the habitat. However, of this list of plants, only this subset of them can actually be found in Indonesia. So I assume they're the ones they actually would have in their natural habitat. And we're in North America. So of that list of plants, this subset are the plants that could feasibly be grown in a temperate North American habitat like this, where the zoo is located. So these are the subset of plants that we're going to use in this habitat. So let's start placing them. I don't want to put too many plants in here because I feel like they're going to want space to move around. I'm going to shuffle this cypress tree out of the way as well because that's encroaching on their territory. And then I think that's probably quite good. I could put another couple of like fig trees in around generally, but I don't want to provide too much if they're not that bothered for it, because like we're putting it in to get coverage that they're not really bothered for. That's not how it's supposed to work. So we're halfway through the coverage that they want, and I think that that's probably good. They seem very happy with all the trees in here. They should be found in their natural habitat, so I think that's appropriate for them. And look, it's feeding time as well. So now it's feeding time. I think let's learn a little bit more about these beautiful animals. The Bornean elephant, also known as the Borneo pygmy elephant, is a subspecies of Asian elephant that lives in the rainforest of the island of Borneo, part of both Malaysia and Indonesia. It has grey-brown skin, large ears, a long trunk, small eyes, and a long tufted tail. Males measure from 2.5 meters to 3 meters tall and 3.1 meters to 3.8 meters long, with a weight of 2,950 kilos to 5,000 kilos. Females are slightly smaller at 2 meters to 2.4 meters tall, 2.5 to 3.2 meters long, and weighing around 2,000 kilos to 3,000 kilos. In fact, the Bornean elephant is the smallest subspecies of elephant. Although also referred to as a pygmy elephant, they are only 10 to 15% smaller than mainland elephants or nearby Malaysia. Bornean elephants were once thought to be the remains of a domesticated herd introduced to Borneo by the Sultan of Sulu in the 1700s. However, DNA testing has now confirmed that they are a genetically distinct species that separated from the mainland elephants 300,000 years ago. Bornean elephants are quieter and gentler in nature compared to their mainland counterparts, and have longer tails and straighter tusks than their Asian elephant ancestors, so they're very cute. The Bornean elephant was formerly recognized as a distinct subspecies of Asian elephant in 2024, so it's only been recognized fairly recently. Bornean elephant cows are very social and live in small interrelated groups with an average of 8 individuals. These groups will contain several generations of female elephants, and their juvenile offspring are often closely bonded. Young males will form small bachelor groups, of which mature males will eventually split off to live solitarily. Little is known about the specifics of breeding in the Bornean elephant, so much of the information is based on mainland elephant behavior. Bornean elephants can breed year-round, though peaks in the rainy seasons are recorded, and solitary bulls have been known to approach female herds in an attempt to mate with their receptive members, and likewise, female herds may vocalize to attract a bull to them. When with the herd, the male will give chase to fertile cows who will eventually mate with them. He will guard the herd from other males and mate with the females throughout their fertile period. Gestation lasts from 12 to 22 months, and twin births are extremely rare. Usually the elephant cows give birth to a single offspring. Other members of the herd crowd around the mother to protect her and the baby during birth. Alloparenting is common in the interrelated herds, and baby elephants remain close to their mothers in their first years. They begin to eat vegetation at 4 months old, and the weaning process lasts until 4 to 5 years old. Female calves remain with their natal group as they reach maturity around 10 years old, while the male calves will slowly begin distancing themselves from the herd until they eventually join a bachelor pod. Males usually remain in these bachelor pods from ages 8 through 17, and as they age, they become more and more solitary. However, it's unlikely that a male will get to mate at all until he's around 30 years old, as older and stronger males will win fights over access to female herds. Unfortunately, due to the ongoing deforestation for logging and palm oil plantations throughout the Bornean elephant's range, it is an endangered species. The Sabah region of Borneo has lost 60% of its forest in the last 40 years, and due to this fragmentation of their habitat, the elephants are more likely to be injured or killed in traffic accidents by ingesting agricultural chemicals or poachers. Elephants also get ensnared in illegal traps that intend to target smaller game, and an estimated 20% of Bornean elephants have been injured by these traps. The already naturally small population of elephants on Borneo is therefore under strong risk of inbreeding depression. Legislative and conservation efforts aim to protect the Bornean elephant, targeting alternative hunting practices and research into agricultural chemicals to reduce the human-elephant conflict and poisoning. The Bornean elephant's recent addition to the IUCN red list helps raise awareness of this species' plight and the difficulties that the island of Borneo faces, but it's not looking good for the Bornean elephant right now, and they really need our help, with an estimated population of only 399 left in the wild. Well, we've made a huge amount of progress in this video. I think in the next one, we can look at getting a bull elephant in here as well and doing a little, like a few touch-ups around the place to make sure everyone's as happy as they can be. But for now, I think that's good for this video. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like. It really helps the channel out. And I'll see you in the next one.